Midnight. That was the line in the sand. Midnight was when the devices shut down, the lights went out, and the house went still. But for a 12-year-old girl in the throes of summer, it might as well have been the apocalypse. She cried, sobbed actually, accused her dad of being mean, unfair, the kind of parent that just doesn't get it, because according to her, literally all her friends were allowed to stay up as late as they wanted. No curfews, no bedtime rules, just endless hours of Roblox, FaceTime, Minecraft marathons, and late-night giggles echoing through group chats at 2 or 3 in the morning. But her dad? He didn't budge. He sat there, quietly, trying not to let her breakdown rattle his resolve, letting her vent, letting the storm pass. Because he knew that what looked like tyranny to her was actually love. The kind of love that's not always applauded. The kind that sometimes earns you tears instead of thanks. She had no idea what he was really protecting her from. During the school year, she had a pretty firm routine. Devices off by 10, bed by 10:30. Maybe an extra 30 minutes on a Friday or Saturday. It was structured, yes, but not cruel. And honestly, it had helped her. Before those rules, she was dragging herself out of bed in the morning, half asleep through math class, barely focusing. After the bedtime boundaries were set, she started doing better in school. Her mood lifted. Her grades improved. She even earned back some screen time, and that felt like a win for everyone. But summer changed the game. With no school alarms looming, her friends were staying up all night. When she went to sleep, they were still online, sending each other memes and laughing over video calls. And she was missing out. That fear of being left out, that bone-deep longing to belong, it hit hard. And in her eyes, it wasn't fair. It felt like punishment. And so, one night, when her devices shut down as scheduled, the meltdown began. She told her dad he was ruining her summer, that he didn't understand, that all her friends were allowed to do whatever they wanted. She was 12, almost a teenager. She deserved freedom. But what she didn't realize, what she couldn't realize, is that freedom without boundaries is a trap, especially when it comes disguised as glowing screens and endless scrolling. Her dad had been watching, not just her behavior, but the digital world creeping into every hour of her life. The way technology had become a constant hum in the background, messages from 6 apps buzzing at once, group calls that never ended, 1,000 online voices in her ear all day and night. He knew that past a certain hour, nothing good really happened. That doom scrolling at 1 a.m. doesn't feed the soul. That sleep isn't just rest. It's regulation. It's restoration. It's the silent work of the growing brain. And his daughter? She still had a lot of growing to do. But try explaining that to a kid who's watching her social life vanish every time a screen goes dark. Even his wife, her mom, suggested a compromise, a little wiggle room. Maybe let her stay up a bit later, just so she didn't feel like the odd one out. He understood where she was coming from. He did. This wasn't about being rigid for the sake of it, but he also knew what it meant to be the only parent saying no in a sea of yes. What it meant to draw a line and stand behind it, even if it made you the villain in your own kid's story. So he questioned himself. Was he being too harsh? Was he asking too much from a 12-year-old in the middle of summer? To find out, he asked her friends directly. When they were over for hangouts or sleepovers, he asked, casually, if any of them had bedtimes. And almost every single one said no. No curfews. no device shut off, just freedom. But he couldn't shake the thought, were their parents really okay with that? Or were they just unaware? Asleep upstairs while their kids stayed online into the early hours, unsupervised, overstimulated, and unreachable. And even if those parents were okay with it, did that make it right? He remembered what it felt like to be 12, to want to stay up late just to feel older, cooler, more in control. He had done it too. Stayed up late playing games or reading until his eyes burned. But even back then, the stakes were different. The internet didn't follow you into bed. There weren't push notifications or strangers DMing at 2 a.m. There was no TikTok, no infinite scroll, no online pressure to always be available. This was a new world, and his daughter was growing up in the thick of it. She wasn't a bad kid, far from it. She had a good group of friends. She loved playing games, making art, goofing off, but left unchecked, she'd stay up until dawn and sleep half the day away. And that's what he didn't want. For her to miss summer in the name of digital FOMO. So he held firm. Devices started powering down at 10:30. Phone first, then iPad, then gaming consoles, computer, TV, all off by 11:30. Lights out by midnight. He thought that was generous. She thought it was prison. And maybe, just maybe, they were both a little bit right. Because parenting in the digital age, it's war. A silent, exhausting war where the enemy isn't just bad behavior, but burnout, addiction, anxiety, and a billion-dollar tech industry that wants your kids' attention 24/7. The tantrum she threw wasn't just about bedtime. It was about autonomy, about trying to carve out control in a world that constantly tells her what to do, how to act, who to be. And he got that. But he also knew this was bigger than one argument. This was about building a foundation, one made of boundaries, yes, but also trust and safety and sleep. He considered a compromise. Maybe give her one night a week, a Friday or Saturday, to stay up later. Maybe even let her keep her iPad a bit longer, see how she handled it. Give her a taste of freedom and measure her maturity by how she managed it. But only if she kept up her end of the bargain. No late sleeping, no moodiness, no missed responsibilities, no naps to make up for reckless nights. Because actions have consequences. And learning that now, in the safety of home, was better than learning it later when the stakes are higher and the safety net is gone. So now, he's asking, am I the asshole for making my daughter go to bed at midnight during the summer, when all her friends get to stay up all night? He knows she thinks he is. But what about you? Was he being unfair? Or was he doing the hard, quiet work of parenting? The kind that doesn't get a thank you until years later. You decide. This story cuts deeper than just a bedtime debate. It's about the invisible battles we fight as parents in a world that never turns off. It's about protecting our kids not from danger at the door, but from the kind that creeps through Wi-Fi signals and glowing screens. The father in this story, he's not just enforcing bedtime. He's protecting something sacred, a child's right to rest, to disconnect, to grow without being swallowed by the noise of constant connection. And yet, this story also holds up a mirror for all of us. Parents, kids, teachers, siblings, anyone who's ever wrestled with boundaries and the guilt of saying no. Because in a culture that tells us more is better, more freedom, more access, more screen time, sometimes love looks like less. So here's what I want to ask you. What were the boundaries in your home growing up? Did you love them? Hate them? Did they save you from something you couldn't yet see? And if you're a parent now, how do you draw the line between protecting and controlling? Comment below. Tell us your story. And if you've ever been accused of being the mean parent, just remember, the kids may not get it today, but one day, they just might thank you for the bedtime they fought so hard against. This is AITA Stories, where the hard questions live.